guys, and welcome back to another video. So it has been a while since I've done one of these vlogs back at home, but I thought I would carry on my Disney and Universal trip videos by doing a sort of chatty vlog review, what I got up to, what I loved, what maybe I didn't love, and how I planned it. I did a video like this after my July Disney and Universal trip last year, and the comments I had were quite positive, and they actually liked how, some of you liked how I sort of explained the budget, the costs, how I booked, who I booked with, exactly sort of how I planned it. So I thought I'd do another sort of similar video to that, incorporated into this sort of overall just chatting about the trip in general. So just to start off with, I just wanted to talk about the planning of the trip, where I stayed, and the budget, again similar to the vlog I did after my July holiday. So we booked through BA again. We booked through, I sort of mentioned this in the other video, but we use BA quite a lot. We're quite loyal, shall I say, to BA. We do like their service. We know it's not perfect all the time. I've seen the reviews and seen sort of the like stats for airlines that have just come out, and BA is like one of the worst apparently for service. We've never had an issue, so I think we're just very lucky in that respect. Whenever we travel with BA, always good service. There's never been any issues. We haven't, fingers crossed and touch wood, we haven't had any sort of luggage issues. So just based on that and based on our previous holidays, we've just continued to use them, and we're sort of starting to sort of collect Avios points. So we just think we might as well just continue to stay loyal to them and just continue booking, because we personally haven't had any issues with them. So we booked through BA. So we did flights and hotel with BA. So BA flights, we booked the hotel through them as well, and that was Disney's All-Star Music Resort, which for Disney is a value resort. So it was their, in terms of pricing, it was their lowest cost. It was the sort of most value resort. But obviously, when you think about Disney, nothing's really value. But in terms of how they sort of, you know, work their resorts and how they sort of plan what they call them, this was classed as a value resort. So there's 3 all-star resorts. There's all-star movies, music and sports. We stayed at music. There's not really a price difference like between the 3. I would say that it's, I guess, just based on what's available really, and maybe what the theming is. We didn't really care about the theming. We like sort of Disney anyway, so we didn't really care about, you know, we didn't have a specific, oh, I only want to stay in movies, I only want to stay in sports. We didn't really have a preference, so we thought let's just go with whatever we see first, and we saw music. So we booked this for 15 nights and 16 days, so just over the 2 weeks. We only did this because we booked off more than 2 weeks annual leave from our jobs, so it worked out that we could have done more. We could have done, I think, the most I could have done was, I think, 18 nights and 19 days. And then it would work out that I'd get home the day before I come back to work. But we just thought, let's just do an extra 1 night, because why not? And it worked out basically the same price. It was like £5 or £10 difference. So we thought, let's just do an extra night. So 15 nights, 16 days. We went on the 20th of January and came back on the 4th of Feb, but landed in the next morning because it's an overnight flight. And all this was through BA. So in terms of the costing for just the flight and this hotel for 16 days, it was roughly £1,300, which I think is amazing, because you're looking at like £1,300 for like a week all-inclusive somewhere at the moment. So I just think for double that, I mean, I know nothing's included in terms of like food, but I think why not? I think that was a really, really good price. So we went ahead and booked that. We also booked Disney tickets through BA because there was an offer on with, it was a Disney offer, but it also was offered through sort of partner and other agents. So it was included through if you booked through BA, which was a credit, like a dining credit, which came to $540 for the two of us. So we had $540 to spend during our time there, and that was sent to us as a sort of credit that you could put on your phone the day that we arrived, so that was all nice and quick. But we also booked the Disney tickets, which was £529 per person. So in total, in terms of what we booked through BA as like what the price was per person through BA, it was about 1,800 and something, or 1,900, which again, for flights, hotel, Disney tickets and the credit included, I think that's a bargain really. We decided to book our Universal tickets through Attraction Tix. I think that's what it was called, Attraction Tickets, Attraction Tix, because they were doing it was either a 5 or 10% discount through Black Friday. So we actually got a bit of money off. It was around, I think, 300 per person for those tickets. So we got a bit of money off, but also we wanted to do it not through BA anyway, because last time we booked the Universal tickets through BA, you had to actually go to like a will call kiosk or the desk before you actually went into the parks to get the physical tickets printed. And I don't know if I mentioned it, I feel like I did in my previous videos for the July holiday, but it was such a faff. We spent like nearly half an hour getting through that whole process. They told us we needed something, but we didn't get told we needed to do anything other than show this like ticket number. They had an issue with that. We then had to send them a physical copy over email, and then there was a whole process, all just to get a physical little ticket, your Universal ticket. So we thought, let's just do it elsewhere, because what we really ideally wanted was just an email with QR codes or a barcode that you can just scan when you get to the sort of entry kiosk, which we did through Attraction Tix. So we just had them on our phones. It was just so easy rather than sort of having to worry about having a physical ticket that you might lose. So we just preferred to do it through a different website rather than getting it like we did last time. And then in terms of any other bookings that we had, we also booked our Premier Universal Hotel in order to get the unlimited express passes. We also booked that for a night, so if you're staying for a night, you get express passes for check-in and check-out. So we had express passes for 2 days, so that worked across for both parks. So we also did that. We just do that through whichever hotel company is cheaper. Like we don't have a preference through that. We just Google it, and whichever's cheaper, we'll just go for that one. But we booked Portofino Bay this time. Last time, you may remember, we booked Royal Pacific, which is also part of the Lowe's Hotels group. So there's Lowe's Portofino Bay and Lowe's Royal Pacific that do the Premier Hotel Universal Express Pass. And there's also Hard Rock Hotel, which we are planning to do when we go back. But I might do a specific video just on like express passes and why we've done that, and the hotel itself, because the hotel was amazing. It was insane. I didn't do much filming at Universal because you just can't film on rides, and you can't even take things into the queues because you have to put them in lockers. So I didn't really do much filming, but I did do like a brief quick room tour. I did take photos and things of like the hotel and walking around the grounds. So I might do a little sort of quick vlog on that in the future. But we also booked that as well. So all of that was sort of a whole process of how we booked our holiday. We did it about 5 or 6 months before we actually went on the holiday, which I don't know if anyone else has done research, but apparently the best time to book something like a holiday, a package holiday, is 6 months before, because you get the best deals. I don't know if that's true, but I saw that online somewhere like a while back. And that's what we did, and we did get some good deals, so maybe it's true. And then we were ready to go on holiday, and oh my god, we had the best time. I don't know why, but there's no feeling like a Disney and Universal trip. I just think when you come back, you're just so depressed. You've got the Disney holiday blues and you just want to rebook. It is just so magical and just such a happy holiday to go on, and I just absolutely love it. In terms of the resort that we stayed at, so All Star Music, I've done a room tour, which should be my previous video if you want to go and check that out, the one before this one, but we loved the room. I mean, really, when you're going on this type of holiday, you're not really in the room as much, depending on where you stay actually, because there are so many nice things in and around the resort as well. So in All Star Music, I mean, it's quite like, there's not a lot in the resort other than maybe like an arcade, the food court and a couple of swimming pools. So you were just focused on going to the parks. But you know, if you wanted to have a rest day, you could have just spent all day around the pool because it's so lovely. It's such a nice atmosphere. It's not like too much in your face as well. Like if you want to maybe have a chill day, you can do that. You don't have to just constantly be going to Disney. So, and that was our base. Our base was at a Disney park, even though we did do a couple of Universal days, and we also went to Volcano Bay as well, as you saw in my previous vlogs. So we did split sort of the stay up a bit, but I think our base will always be Disney as well. I just think there's so much that you can do there. There's so many more parks to go and explore. So I would 100% recommend staying at an all-star resort. We actually went to All-Star Movies, which was the next one over, and we really liked the look of that resort as well. I think they're all pretty much the same. It's just the theming slightly different. But if you want to go and check out the room tour, please go and watch it. That was a standard room, fits up to 4 people. Lovely room, really clean. The amenities were really nice. And yeah, it was just a lovely place to stay. I just also wanted to mention, in terms of like the planning, because I forgot I didn't mention this, in terms of like budget and how much spending money we saved to spend at the parks and just on the holiday. So it was both me and my sister. I mean, usually depending on I guess who you're going with, we sort of split what we paid for. So like I would pay for a meal, she would pay for a meal. We also had obviously the dining credit of the $540, so that really sort of helped when we were deciding where to go, because there were some really expensive places and then there were some sort of quick service cheap places, so that really did help. But in terms of like how much I saved between sort of money just in my bank account that I just put on my Monzo card and cash, like dollars, I took I think around $1,600, which I didn't need all of that. I came back with about $500, so I don't know how, because I spent a lot while I was there. But yeah, I think, again, depending on how much you want to go out and eat, how much you're going to spend on like merchandise and other things like that, it's just up to you how much you think you're going to need. But I think we only needed probably just over 1,000 each. But yeah, we sort of were over prepared in that respect, but it was nice to come home with money. In terms of carrying cash, I just wanted to mention, for anyone who will only take cash when you're out there, absolutely fine. The majority of places that we went took cash, and I don't think there was anywhere that just refused cash. There was a place in, where did we go? Oh no, it wasn't even cash. It was, we went into Walmart, and we whenever we go to any supermarket, not just like in the States but anywhere, like even at home, we always like to go to self-service. We just like getting on with it and doing ourselves. But when in Walmart, I don't know if this was like every single Walmart, but this was the one that we went to, you couldn't do Apple Pay or contactless on self-service, so you had to put in like a pin, your chip in pin. So just bear that in mind, because in the UK we use Apple Pay a lot. My sister rarely takes her debit or credit card out, she only takes her phone out. So in the States, if you go to a supermarket and all you've got is your phone, you'll probably have to go somewhere else. Or the normal checkout, like cashiers, might have an Apple Pay service, but I didn't see one. So just bear that in mind. But in terms of cash, they will take it anywhere you go. We had the best time in the parks. They are as amazing as always. I will say though, we've been to Disney Universal quite a few times now, and I will always say I'm very, very fortunate and lucky enough that I've been able to go so many times, because I know that it's a luxury going to this type of place, and I will always remember how lucky I am. I did find that this was the busiest time to go, which is really strange, because if anyone's part of any of these Disney groups on Facebook or just look online, they have what's called a crowd calendar, where they will show like green, yellow or red, which is basically like a traffic light thing. So if it's green in the month that you're looking to go, it will be really quiet, and obviously yellow is going to be busier, but red's going to be like the busiest. In January and February, bar like a couple of days where they have like Martin Luther King Day and other sort of specific holidays they have in the States, it was green. Like every day was green. But we went there and it was packed. I mean, it's always going to be busy. Disney is just busy now. Like, I think regardless, there's no quiet time in my opinion. I think since like the pandemic, everyone's just making the most of their time and just going there, because we don't know how long we've got in life, all right? I'm just going to say it. But it was so busy, like to the point where you'd go to a park, and if you didn't use Genie Plus, you probably wouldn't be riding anything, because the queues were like 2 hours long. I mean, yes, if you want to queue 2 hours for a ride, then so be it. We don't. We think you can do far better things with your time than queue for a ride. But it was so busy, we weren't expecting it. Other times we've been have been July, August, September. They have been, I mean, we went 4th of July last year and it was probably the quietest it's ever been. We were told it was meant to be in the red section, it was meant to be like crazy busy, like you can't even walk anywhere. It was probably the quietest we've ever seen it. So it just shows that I don't think those crowd calendars are always correct, but I just think also just be prepared. If you think you're going to be going in a quiet time, everyone else is looking at that it's going to be quiet, so they'll probably end up booking as well. So just bear that in mind. In terms of Universal, we didn't find it as busy as Disney. We did have obviously the express passes, so we weren't waiting in queues, we weren't waiting in lines, we didn't really keep an eye on what the normal wait times were. But I mean, I don't think Universal's so big and there's so much to do there. There's not, I don't think, ever going to be a ridiculously long queue for any of the rides other than Hagrid's. If you know, you know. You're going to be waiting in Hagrid's at least half an hour, regardless. I also just wanted to just shout out all of the cast members at Disney, at Universal. I've never been there and had a negative experience with any staff member. Everyone is amazing. They're all so happy to speak to you. They're happy to give you advice, suggestions, ask you about what you've got planned for the day. We spoke to someone in Hollywood Studios. He looked like a security guard. We said, oh, we're wanting to watch the fireworks. We don't know whether to go into the parks or maybe book like a reservation. He was telling us exactly where to go, how to book it, where exactly it is, the best time to go. So yeah, they're so happy to speak to you. And I think if you went up to someone and asked for an opinion, like what's your favourite ride, what's your favourite food to have here, they will tell you a story, and it's such a lovely interaction. Even over at Universal, they are so lovely. They're just lovely people, and I don't think they get enough recognition and credit, especially since the return of like, you know, touristy places now that, you know, we're out of the pandemic. I just think they're all amazing. So I just want to give you a shout out if you're a cast member, or if you're anything to do with hospitality, travel, tourism, you guys are amazing. So thank you. We did have the best time. I love going to Orlando. I keep saying this to everyone, but I do feel like in another life, if this was a thing, that in another life I was a Floridian, or like I lived in Orlando, because it's not just going to the parks, it's just I do almost feel at home when I go there. It's really weird, but I just think going to Florida, Orlando specifically, I just think, you know, it's a lovely time, and it's just an amazing place to be. Yes, it's very touristy. Yes, there's going to be people that probably annoy you, as there is wherever you go in a very popular tourist destination. But I think a holiday is what you make it. And if you're happy to be there, just remember that you're lucky to be there. And I know that I'm so happy that I was able to go. I love going there. That is just my dream, to just continue to going there if I can afford it. But we had the best time. We met the best people. The characters were amazing. The princesses were amazing. We got to ride Guardians of the Galaxy like 7 times, and now we have got 5 out of the 6 songs. We haven't had Conga, which I've heard is a really good song. So fingers crossed when next time we go we'll get Conga. But yeah, everyone's just been so lovely. I got to ride Velocicoaster for the first time because I chickened out. If you've watched my previous July video, I chickened out, but I actually went on it and I couldn't believe how good it was. It was amazing. But I did sort of come off that ride. If anyone else has been on Velocicoaster, you'll probably understand what I mean. But my thighs hurt when I got off that ride. I think it's because you do almost feel like you're falling out of your seat. So you like sort of clench your thighs, or like you tense your legs so you try and stay in your seat. But yeah, I came off like my legs were a bit jelly-like, not because of the ride, but just purely because I was clenching or like tensing my legs, which was really weird. But I did love it. Went on Hagrid's twice in the 2 days. Love it, absolutely amazing. Everything about going here is just, you just have the best time. So I will hopefully do another vlog in the future of going to Disney and Universal. Wherever we stay, I'll be lucky to even be there. So I'm going to continue this Disney, Universal, Orlando sort of vlog series. I will be talking maybe more in depth about specific places. So the Universal, I might do a specific vlog. I know I'm going to do a specific one on express passes and Portofino Bay, like I mentioned earlier, but I still want to do some more just mentioning specific things. And yeah, so keep an eye out for those videos. But I hope you enjoyed this one. If you have any questions again about planning, or if you want to know anything more about how we book it, please leave a comment down below. I will definitely answer you back. But thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.